Welcome to this installment of Creative Cabin Fever. On today's installment, I have Sinead, also known as Bonnie Boux. Hello, Sinead.
Hello, Rebecca. How's it going? How are you doing?
Not too bad. How's lockdown treating you?
So, I always find it really weird to answer this question because I'm like, oh, it's good. And I'm like, am I convincing myself that everything is good? I'm like, am I in denial? you know? I mean, it's as good as it can be, I think. I'm very lucky. Like, I live with my parents, so I don't have kids to be stressing about or homeschooling time fuck. So, it's been quite chilled, It's great, like, and I get on really well with my family, so yeah, can't complain. It's good. How are you getting on?
Good as well, but I also feel really guilty whenever I tell someone I'm doing great because everyone's like, what? I'm like,
Yeah,
no, living
I
my
know.
best life.
Loving the sleep, loving the rest, loving colouring. I'm loving just colouring books. I've ordered new markers the other day. They came in the post, buzzing. I mean, I felt 12, well, like, I still coloured when I was 12, yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Colouring
So,
is really soothing. I have those adult colouring books myself, and every so often I'll just do a little mandala and I'll feel like I'm an artist, but I'm not.
but you are. Art is subjective. See, I love the way you said adult colouring books, and you've got a mandala, and I've got a swear word one. I've got it says like I can't even think of the words that are in it, but my sister bought my mum a dick one, so it's like all the beautiful names for dicks, and we just colour them. But they've got mandalas in the dicks, so you feel very sophisticated. Yeah, it's lovely.
I
It's good
think
for
I
the
need one. I think that's what I'm going to go look for next week when I get paid.
get very zen from it. It's lovely.
With
It's
your
like the
watercolor
angry.
pencils, thinking you're like brilliant,
Depends what mood you're in, like watercoloring, or if you're really angry towards the subject matter, you can like get the red marker and just like make it really angry looking, like really chafed.
Or fluorescent green if you're wishing a pox on someone.
Yeah, I mean, blue, we can go all, yeah. It's very soothing. Moving on.
I'm loving this conversation. I'm not sure I want to move on,
Yeah,
but we will. We will. So obviously you're mostly known for Bonnie Boux, and a lot of that would be classes. So in this lockdown, you've had to reinvent that. So talk us through what
yeah.
you're actually doing at the moment, because that's really interesting to me.
Pretending I've got my shit together is the first thing, and then very good, getting the acting skills in. So I've actually switched some of my classes to online, but I mean, I'm not doing it to the extent that I would do it like outside of this situation. I've just kind of easing back into it gently, because when the lockdown first happened, I kind of had this, I didn't realize at the time, but I had this internal business mode panic of, right, this is it now, I need to just do it, get out there. And I was straight on Instagram lives, straight on just teaching, just diving straight in and just seeing what happens, because I actually have it on a goal board of mine that last year I wanted to do an online class, so like once a month, that people that didn't live in Waterford could come, and it'd be an extra thing to do with the business. So the lockdown actually forced me to take a goal off my board, which I was really, really happy about. But I realized then, I was like, it takes a lot of energy, as you know, like doing stuff online and the internet in general. And so I did it for 2 weeks, a lot for free and donation bit, and I was really happy to do that. But then I was like, whoa, took a step back, and I thought to myself, I need to really like reserve this energy, because I could be using this time to actually be focusing on other things, and just, the business is okay, like everyone's stopped, that way. So now I've kind of gotten a nice little routine of a weekly kind of class. Well, I do two. My Waterford crew that always come to my classes, I've kept their class private, so I do their class at the same time every week online, and then I have an open public one every week as well. And I've done like a hen party and stuff, so I just teach on Zoom. Yeah, it's great. Good crack. You
Zoom
should
is
come
a
on to my
great
class.
tool. I
I
will.
know.
I did the kid one. I did the kid one with my son, and I freaking
We
loved
did.
it. And he freaking loved it. And it was just beautiful and perfect. You know what I mean? And I
Oh,
love that about
dude.
you. You put on so many characters, you're so interesting as a person.
Just it's funny you say that, actually, because I've got my puppet next to me. Last night, I did a competition I don't know if you've seen, do you know Davina Divine and Victoria's Secret? They're like two really well-known Irish drag queens. And every week they do, they were doing Queen of Captivity, which is like a drag queen competition. But last night it was Stars in Their Eyes. So my mom, bless her, she's very good at encouraging me, even when I'm like, oh, I couldn't be bothered. She was like, do it. So I had a long black wig and did Cher, but I did Sonny and Cher. And I'm actually in my studio now. You see, I filmed the show last night. So his wig isn't on him, but this was Sonny. I'm Cher. Yeah, so that's one character now I've developed in lockdown. So if anyone wants a Cher impersonator through Zoom, woo, OnlyFans Cher style.
There is great money in that. There is great money in that.
There is. I have friends that do it. They are loving it, loving life. I mean, I'm practically giving that shit away for free on Instagram. You should be just getting OnlyFans. You know, would you be into it? Just tag team it, you know.
Ooh, I could be smoking fags, eating food like a Japanese girl.
But you know what? People pay to watch people eat dinner with them. This is a really big thing, isn't it?
Massive.
So like you're sitting there eating your bowl of noodles and people are PayPaling you and you're just like company with them for their dinner and stuff. It's the dream. It's the goal. You should do it. You should.
As a food blogger, I tried it as, you know, like food blogging comedian. I try and merge those two as much as possible. I did it for the crack. Like I didn't get nearly as many, you know, requests as I wanted. But like, I mean, that's not to say that there isn't that in the future. And I have been asked to smoke cigarettes on film before. See,
there is definitely money to be made. I mean, maybe you should do topless eating. I think that would definitely rack up. Not saying that we're only worthy of our boobs. I'm not saying that, but you know.
No, but they are there and they are to be used, like.
You know what I mean? Like that.
So I'm really curious about how you fell in love with dance first. So what was it that made you just fall completely madly in love with dancing?
I find it really hard to answer because I don't really have a timeline, if that makes sense. Like I can't really think too far back, but I do have a memory of when I was really young, and like since I'm like really little, I've like danced with my hips naturally and my butt, and I love belly dancing. And like we didn't have, I was going to do this the whole thing now when I'm talking out of breath. We didn't have like YouTube or anything else, you know, when I was younger. But I remember my neighbours went to Turkey on a holiday, and they came back and they brought me back a tape cassette, and it was Turkish music, and I used to play it over and over, and just like, I mean, I was young, like 7, 8, I'm not too sure, but it's actually the original song to Holly Valance's Kiss Kiss. So like she took that she took it, like legally made a deal for the, you know, that original track. And yeah, so I think that's definitely, I remember always listening to that and dancing. And then me and my friend Louise, which you would definitely know, we always did, like, we were inseparable and danced together all the time. So like it was definitely, I think, through us as friends, it was like a social thing, and it was just a natural thing. Like we used to always just dance together in the sitting room in the garden. Yeah, I think that was and then Irish dancing. We all had our Irish dancing moments. Did you grow up here?
No, but I used to pretend I was part of the river dance in France, having the great crack.
See, you're honorary river dance lady, you know, because like everyone in Ireland, obviously that went to school in Ireland, knows the Irish dancing. So I did that then outside of school as well, because I loved it. I love the river dance. I love Irish dancing. Oh, love it. I've got a pair of hard tap shoes now. Actually, I'm going to try and give it another go now as an adult. It's hard. Really hard.
Yeah, going back to those things that you know, really were passionate about when you were a child as an adult is quite difficult for many reasons. Like that muscle memory is gone. You've got negative connotations to failure. There's so many reasons it's hard to go back. So well done on wanting to do that.
Like I won't lie, there was a bit of an I don't like to admit it, but there's a bit of an ego of like, oh, I was a really good Irish dancer, I'll be fine, you know. Got the shoes from my neighbour. She was like, I've got old shoes, you know, put them on, was ready to go. No, like absolute disaster. I literally was like, what the hell is going on with my feet? I was literally like Happy Feet the penguin in a pair of tap shoes. It was, yeah. So I have a friend that I'm going to do a dance class swap with here in Waterford, Abby. We need to get around to that. I'm going to teach her some twerking. She's going to teach me Irish dance again. Get that muscle memory going. Yeah.
That's a great
So,
idea. I love a
yeah,
barter. I have barters with
yeah.
all of my friends. I think they're super important, you know, especially at a time like this. You have to go back to
Mhm.
the olden ways, I think.
Yeah, it's good because you can't really, sometimes you can't put a value on certain things, and it's hard then you want to repay the person. And I think it's good if you just both agree on like just a nice good old fashioned swap, you know. It's good. Not like a bar on a Saturday night.
Absolutely not. Now, I wanted to tell you the first time I fell in love with you, and actually, it ties into you and Louise dancing together all the time. I was at a friend's
Ah,
birthday party. She was turning 30,
yeah,
I believe. We were all there in
yeah.
Electric Avenue, and you guys did a guest spot as the Ghetto Grannies. And from that day onwards, I mean, we're talking over a decade ago now, right? I
Yeah,
was like,
no.
I love that girl so much.
Rebecca, like, this is crazy because you think you remember. I can't remember this. Doing the show. Whose birthday was it?
Eve.
Oh, Eve's birthday. My God, my brain, my memory's gone so bad. Slight memories now.
I
God.
think Dee was there and she was like, oh, we'll just get the girls in to do this. And it was just
Yeah.
completely like random and just absolutely
Oh,
insane. Like, I loved the Ghetto Grannies. I think that was just the coolest thing.
oh, thank you. It was good times. It's good times. Ghetto grannies. Yeah, I was Nanny Ned. Ned's my nickname. She was Nanny Nene. We had good times, and then sure Louise had to, not had to, but like she was in college and stuff, and it was hard. And then she moved away to London then as well, and so it was hard to kind of ever keep up the duo thing, you know. But what was really cool is that I now have a granny, stripper granny Boux burlesque act that I do. So, you know, I used some of the costume, kept good bits, vamped it up, made it less PG, you know, inspired by the ghetto granny. So thanks, Nanny Nene. Thanks, Rebecca. Oh God, many embarrassing, I'd say, performances we've done over the years. You know, you think you're like you're ready, and then you just I'm thinking of a lot of things now of when we used to do stuff. Good times, so good times. It's not about
Great
being perfect.
times. And it was so much fun. You were bringing joy to people. Do you know what I mean? You still
Bring
are
joy.
bringing joy to people. Like, your embarrassment really doesn't count when you're making other people's happy, I think.
No, and do you know what? I'm not even embarrassed. And at the time, it's the thing. Like I love how when I look back, I was so sure of myself all the time because we didn't live in the era we live in now, where you are subconsciously reminded a lot of comparisons and all that. So I'm very grateful to have not grown up with that stuff being blasted at you. But when I look back, I was doubly just couldn't give two shits. Like, was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll do that. And like, yeah, you know, I didn't have to be great at it. I was just happy to do it because it's fun, you know. And I think that's really important to remember, that you should do things that make you happy and not you don't have to monetize and be brilliant at it, you know, which is what is going on at the moment now. I read a recent article about like how most people don't express themselves creatively as much anymore because they think they have to be really, really good at it. But it's kind of like this societal pressure of how you have to monetize everything. And so you don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be a teacher or this person on Instagram that looks amazing doing your painting, or, you know, so it's good just to be creative for you, you know.
The joy it
Um,
sparks in you is actually what matters. What comes from that joy outside of that doesn't really matter, but a lot of people have forgotten
mhm.
that, and a lot of us have
Yeah,
forgotten that it's important to be creative, to allow the inner child out for a play, to just
yeah,
be in touch with our soul, you know, and creativity does allow that. But then a lot of people are starting to get creative in lockdown, so who knows what's going to come from this, you
yes.
know.
Hmm. Absolute geniuses are going to arise. I'm telling you, like it's really good because people are slowing down and they're just doing the simple things, you know. I love playing. Like, it's the best thing ever. I know you're a playful person too. Like, I love just rolling in the grass, doing my tumbles, doing my headstands. Why not? And just, you know, and it's nice to have, you know, piano probably like brings that more out in you as well, which is nice, you know. So you get to have that like constant play. I love that. It's good.
Well, actually, I'm less playful since Keanu came along because I have to be a grown up, which is
Shit,
weird,
yeah. Yeah, you
right?
gotta feed him and
Because
stuff,
I
don't
was
you?
the girl who used to finish at a session, ring a taxi driver, say, I'm not feeling great, bring me out to Bunman, I want to bounce on bouncy grass, and just bounce on bouncy grass, right?
Oh, good times. What is it like being responsible for another human? I can
It's
barely like.
so strange. It's so strange, actually. It's a great question. It's very strange
Hmm,
because I have incredible patience for everybody else's children and I will be so much fun. But because
yeah.
there's a sense of responsibility attached to my
Hmm.
son, I can be fun to a point, but then I realize I can't be just fun because I have to teach him how to be a normal human. You know, the buck
How
stops
to
at me.
function. Yes, yeah. It's a
So
lot
there
of,
has to
it's a
be
lot of.
boundaries. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
well done, moms. Dad and dads, of course. Well done, you. I can barely keep my puppet alive on the floor.
But he's
Looks
so
like shit.
fluffy.
Mm. My friend, who is a mum, drunkenly ordered that on Amazon and sent it to me in lockdown. I just arrived at my door and I was like, what the fuck is this? So and it's her kid's birthday today, and she just messaged me and said, can you send a birthday message to her daughter as the puppet? So I did, and I was like, God, it's going to have many uses, this puppet, you know, from adult entertainment to children, you know, but we'll keep it separate.
Luckily, the kids don't have that much access to the internet, so it's pretty easy
No,
to keep it separate, you know, and there's all these
yeah.
filters now. So,
I need a filter or two. Need a bit 10.
so a question that's been coming up a lot when I'm speaking to women in these interviews, and it's probably due
Hmm.
to how I feel myself, is how do you feel about taking up space as a woman, not just in the industry, but in general?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it's something I see a lot of people do discuss, you know. And to be honest with you, I'm very, I personally don't really think of my gender a lot in terms of taking up space. It's an interesting one. Um, like I love being a woman. I love just drum that out there. Um, I think what it is because I'm mainly in the burlesque industry. So I know I do like lots of other things, but burlesque is like my kind of main, and it's what's opened up a lot of other paths. Let's say, it's a female-dominated industry first of all, so I think that's probably why I don't ever really think about it. It's also a very open community, so it is mainly females, but it's all genders, you know. So everyone's accepted in it. So I think I've not really thought about taking up space as in that role, because that burlesque teaches you from the get-go that you're to take up space regardless of who you are, where you came from, what you look like, you know. So I think I'm quite grateful because I'm surrounded by a lot of people where that's not even a, well, obviously it is a conversation when it comes to society, and things do pop up from external influences and whatnot. But in general, the community itself is very just warm, open, accepting. So, I mean, I do see, like, obviously it is different in different disciplines, that, you know, women do get different treatments and whatnot. And I know that's why it's a big topic about how we take space and how you should own your space and be happy with what you're doing. So I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but
I
um,
understand what you're trying to say because
yeah, I
realistically,
appreciate.
the reason you're impacting so many people is because you're doing burlesque, in my opinion, right? So burlesque is helping a lot of women to find their space and find their
Yeah,
freedom. And as a teacher, you're able to do that. But because you're doing it in a fashion or in an order that's already very receptive to what it is to be a woman taking up space, I think I understand that to you, it's not actually a thing. You're just taking up space because that's what you're doing. It's not about your
yeah,
gender.
yeah. I'm not specifically thinking about it. It's just, yeah, that makes sense, because I suppose personally for me, but now that you've brought up my students, that's a whole other situation. So that's actually good. It's good to see. We need people like you. You're like making me, yeah, teasing it out, tangle teaser. So I do have a lot of conversations and discussions with I say students. I don't really like using that word sometimes, because I'm like, are they students? What you know, with people that come to my classes, and you know, um, they have had certain situations that they've come to me about, especially with doing what they're doing, and just family members and friends being a bit judgmental. And I've just been kind of spreading and sharing the awareness that anyone that does project any concern onto you about what you're doing is literally their own projection. It's not actually what you're doing, So, and a lot of it has come from a woman to another woman, which probably is deep rooted the fact that women feel like they can't maybe take up space in terms of owning their sexuality and their bodies. For them, that your body is to be consumed by men, and by, it's not there for you to enjoy, like, sex sells. But forgetting sex sells, when I say sexuality, I don't even mean like, just that kind of, that energy in your own
sensuality,
that's the word. Thank you. Shy at words. Sensuality is for you and your body, and you can enjoy it without having to, make excuses as to why you're sharing it online, because you're sharing it because you've decided to, you know what I mean? So, and that in term, like I always say, when you're yourself, you let others be themselves. So something as simple as, if we were sitting in the grass, for example, and I decide I want to do a few tumbles, and it's in a park and there's people we don't know, there could be someone else that's mad to play, but they're a bit like, oh, I can't, because they've gotten stuck in this role of being an adult and whatnot. But then they see someone else doing tumbles, and then they're like, feck it, I'll do it. So when you're comfortable being yourself, you have to do it for the reasons you want to do it, and then it will transcend out into other people and helps them bring out that side that they want to bring out. So I think with burlesque and me doing what I'm doing definitely does help, just like it does when I see other people. For me, it's like this energy exchange, and it's like this kind of boost of, you can do it too, sort of a thing.
Yeah, no, it's very inspiring. It's very beautiful to watch, and it's incredible to see like the journey that people that have been under your guidance and teaching have taken on their own selves, you know what I mean? Obviously you were at Electric Picnic with me one year, and you ended up doing all sorts of crazy, do you know, but I was working in a barber tent, and it was awesome. And even just seeing all the girls with crazy. You, it's insane. Like
that weekend was the weekend that I drunkenly oh my god, what's the word, convinced the security on the main stage that I was Wu-Tang Clan's backing dancers with Becky, and we got on stage and met them and was dancing like their little side chicks. Oh god, then I got booted off stage because I was too drunk.
But you got up there, Sinead, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Oh god. Oh my god, the selfies I have with them, when you're drunk and you don't know what face you're pulling, and I'm literally just like the most unattractive photos. Well, I got the photos, good times.
No, that festival was like stand out for me. Like I had so much fun cutting hair in that barber shop, and then all the games going on. It was just the coolest, like being in the body and soul area.
Yeah, I love body and soul and Electric Picnic. That's not going to happen this year, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
I mean, they haven't said it, but like, I'm not even sure festivals are going to happen next year. Look.
I know. That's me out of work for a long time.
Me too.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. And just fun. Well, I think Art Song is still happening, because it's a small capacity. I put myself on the waiting list for it, actually, because it's not till the end of July. So I don't know if you've been to it. No, I haven't either, but it's meant to be amazing. You're meant to, like, you kind of create circles with your tents, and everyone takes turns to cook dinner each night, and it's for 9 days. It's like a long festival. It's like a community, and it's like a dance camp. It's like dance classes, and yeah, I don't know too much about it, to be honest with you. I shouldn't shut on about it. I'll probably advertise the complete wrong thing, but from what I gather,
No, that sounds really cool. I love when you go to a festival and you meet random strangers and you become their best friends for life. Like I used to go to Download every year, Download Festival in the UK. That was my favorite time. I used to take the whole 5 days off, go there. And then the second year I went, I met this group of Glasgow lads, and then I went back and I met them again. And then I went back and I met them and everyone else who was there the year before. And then I went back and I met everyone again. And we have this community, like this Download family. We still talk online all the time. We haven't seen each other in 10 years. I just got invited to one of the lads' wedding.
Nice. Are you going to go? Well, it's probably not going to happen now, but
It's not going to happen.
yeah. Moving on.
It was nice to get invited, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you know when you get invited to certain weddings though, and you're like, why is this person inviting me? Like, I don't even have your number. Like, we don't talk. What's that?
Not very many people invite me to their weddings, Sinead, so like I
No.
don't have to worry about it too much, you know.
Can't have the riffraff at the wedding now, you know. Joanne with the short red hair.
She mental, babe. Wouldn't want her at my wedding.
Smoking topless there on her fucking live.
She'll probably live stream eating the food at our reception.
Yeah, make well use of the 3-course dinner. So I'm just going to plug this live in there, make a few pounds. Yeah, great. Well, they're having their photos done, sitting there with the niblets. The nibbles. Make your money for the day. Give it to them then. I'll revolute you.
That's so funny. Weddings are funny though. Like so many people, like it's mad what it creates in people. It's such a stressful time. Like I still don't know how I managed to do my whole entire wedding for $3,000, but I did. And
yeah,
like,
see, I admire that. That's what you want. That's what you need. Thank you for doing that.
I mean, it didn't work out, but the idea was perfect. You know, and I had 6 beautiful years. You know, not going to take away.
No, it was good while it lasted. Yeah,
and it was only $3,000.
That's what you want. Like I know I personally, like if I ever did get married, because I don't really I'm not very focused on wanting to, but obviously if you meet someone and they really want to, I'd probably do it for them. But yeah, I'm all about the cheap wedding and have more money to enjoy time together instead than being in debt, you know. Definitely. My cousin got married recently in England, and it was amazing because it started at 5 o'clock in the evening. So you're not like wrecked and waiting around all day, and it was just so smooth, and it was amazing. It was perfect, and it was finished at 2 o'clock. You had to leave. So it was just like condensed quality, you know?
Yeah, that is nice. I kind of had a mini festival, I guess, because I had all my favorite bands play on the stage in Electric Avenue.
Yes. Stylish. Sorry, I'm under this really small table.
I'm the same. Like, there's a little stool in front of me. I'm like, oh, yay.
Ooh. Oh, there we go. Flash the gash. Okay. It's a really weird angle now, isn't it?
Oh, good.
There we go.
So I'm always asking this question because I think it's your gateway drug into rock and roll. And obviously it kind of applies to you anyway. But what was the first song you remember falling in love with?
Oh, so actually it's probably the story I told about the Turkish music when I think about it. Yeah. Because I suppose that would be, yeah. And I love all that style of music. Maybe it's that. Shakira, I remember when I was younger as well, I just bloody love Shakira. My friend Louise actually got me the album, Whenever. And I remember seeing her on MTV when it did pop on, and she was in her like low leather pants with the disc belts, which were very trendy then, and her long hair with her black roots, and I was like, what an awesome bitch, you know? Yeah. Probably some, yeah, I think that's it. I'm not too sure. I'll come back to you if it comes into my mind. Yeah, what about you?
The first song I fell in love with, Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. I was 3 years of age in the back of my dad's Jag, and it came on the radio, and I went, what is this?
Ooh.
And he went, that's the Rolling Stones, and I don't really like them.
Oh, but didn't stop you.
No, he loves Black Sabbath, you see. And there's kind of like this Rolling Stones Black Sabbath thing, the same way we have Blur and Oasis. Do you know? It's kind of like one or the other.
Why? Why not? Should be able to have both, you know? 2 at a time, baby.
I'm all about having all the options open to me as well, Sinead.
You know what I mean? Like, you know? Actually, now that we're talking about music, classical music. So I absolutely love it. I still listen to. I love Beethoven and Mozart, and my mum would have listened to classical music the whole time she was pregnant with me, and she has the whole collection of CDs there, like so many of them. So I think that, and the Beatles was always played. I know all the lyrics. I think family influence wise as well, classical and the Beatles when I was younger as well. I remember when I was a kid, and I still do. Yeah, I
I
love
love
Moonlight.
classical music as well. I
My
love
favorite.
Debussy.
Oh yeah. My favorite song is Moonlight Sonata. Like, it's my jam. I listen to it all the time. I pretend I'm in like this really intense movie moment, you know, and look into the distance and I'm like, different stories pop up. You know that feeling? Yeah, do you ever just sitting on a bus and you do it? Like on a long journey. Yeah, keeps you going.
Yeah,
I
I think
actually,
it's great crack.
I bring myself to tears though. I genuinely believe, you know, that I'm like the dying main character or something. It's quite sad. Probably says a lot about me psychologically.
No, I reckon when you're so used to being in character, like there's a part of you kind of just merges when you're putting on a role. So like if you're so used to being able to tap into that side of your intellect or your brain that allows you to put on a role, then it gets a lot easier for you to just fall back into that. So I'd say you're pretty stable. In fact, the fact that you're able to attach things to those emotions without actually meaning to probably means you're able to deal with those emotions better because you have the pathway to them that's a lot more connected than, let's say, someone who can't do that.
Well, look at you. Thank you for that analogy. I feel really good about myself now. Not crazy. Thanks.
I
Cheers to
tend to
that.
believe people like us that are kind of tree frogging, you know, the ones that pretend to be a little bit more mental than usual, are probably a lot stabler than the ones who are all calm and cool. Because I'd love to know what goes on at home with them. Like,
Yeah, behind closed doors. At least we show our crazy. You know?
unapologetic about who I am, like,
Good.
completely delighted. Do
Good.
you know what I mean? Wasn't
Yeah.
always, but I am now, you know, so.
Mhm. Yeah. That's the best way you want to be. That's a true, you know, true definition of happiness in yourself is just being unapologetically you know? Onomatopoeia. I can't say the words. Onomatopoeia.
You mentioned earlier, and actually I'd like to go back to it because it just clicked in my brain just there.
Yeah.
It's very true that the people that are hardest on us, I find myself as well, it's actually not men, it's women.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time when people are being tough on you, it's just a mirror reflection of their trauma or how they're not dealing with it or issues
Yeah.
that are going on that they can't actually face the issue itself. So they're attaching the issue to, let's say, someone like you or someone like me. It happens to me the whole time too. Like I get attacked the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. There's been 13 different accounts on social media set up in the last 3 months to try and fish me. So
Wow.
I get it. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But you know, I guess when you're a big character, or when you're doing something a bit different, or when you're kind of not afraid to take up space, you're setting off other people who either really want to and aren't brave enough, or other people who really think it's the wrong way and you must be a lunatic. So that
Yeah.
mirroring, like how do you deal with that? Like obviously you're very confident in who you are, but there must be times where it's just
Yeah.
like
Don't want to jinx myself, but like I've not had any particular bad social media things or yeah, like I've been quite lucky, I suppose. Sometimes just being in the wrong place at the wrong time as to why people decide to just, you know, again, it's usually if people lash out on you for doing what you're doing, it's because they have a sense of anger in themselves that they're not able to be as free as you, or you know, whatever it is. It just triggers different things, doesn't it? Everyone has their own like backstories. But I don't know, maybe people just do it behind closed doors with me and I'm cool with that, you know. They can just leave it there, just close the door. Maybe I'll peep into the curtain sometimes, but you know. There was one time, actually, you know what, there was one time with the Repeal the Eighth movement that I did get attacked, if you want to call it, online. A picture of mine was used and was put up on one of the forums of the people that wanted to vote no. And the stuff that was said about me and written about me was like was horrifically bad, like tire to the back of a train and let it go bad sort of thing. Like these are just strangers though, this is the thing. So it didn't affect me at all because they're absolute strangers to me, so they don't actually mean it to me personally. That picture could have been anyone. It's just that my picture was used. So even that didn't affect me really. And I had such love and support from people around me, which I really appreciated. But it was fine, you know? So that's kind of one main kind of situation that I would think of online. And how I dealt with it was just being like, it's cool, it's actually not about me, you know, it's much bigger than that, you know. So I was like, I'm just going to continue my shit. You're going to continue yours. It's going to be fine, you know.
You just reminded me then with the blasphemy law that, you know, you were doing your comedy down in the Reg. That was hilarious. A whole little picket for you. How famous are you?
Thanks. So thank you for, God, this is why my memory's awful. So I completely forgot. I got proper online about this. So we had a petition made against us. I think it was like 9,000 signatures were on it to stop the show. And you know what, this is a good story to bring up actually, because I was like, oh, I'm fine. But that sparked a lot of fear in me, that whole situation, purely because a lot of my anxiety, I've realized, you know, like reflecting on myself throughout the years and trying to kind of come to terms with different things and I find like when you find the root of something, you can deal with it better because you know you can rationalize it and stuff. And I have a massive anxiety from when I was a teenager and being started on, you know, when you're a teenager and people are just like bullies and whatnot. And I realized that was a big trigger for my anxiety. So I have a fear of my own safety sometimes. And when I feel like there is a possible situation that could happen in terms of me being physically hurt, that's when I get triggered bad. So I didn't care about all that nasty stuff being said to me, for example, online, because I knew nothing was going to come out of it really. You know, it's just online and it's words, it's fine. It's funny, I'm confident enough to not let the words get in because I'm like, I know who I am, I'm cool with it. But when it came to people being really impulsive, and I didn't know what could come out of it, you know. So when people started emailing me and telling me I was going to burn in hell, and like it was so bad. Like there was like 3,000 emails I think sent to the Red alone directly. We actually got handwritten card in the post from a man in Cork, and then when they all started picketing, my heart was in my arse. I was just like, and I was dressed as a nun backstage, could hear them on the megaphone being like, reparation! And I was like about to go on stage, and I was just like, what does that word even mean? Actually, I don't know, I just shouted. And they had like a 6-foot Child of Prague statue. And it did spark a lot of fear, because we actually had to have a tactic of being like, okay, someone could be in the audience as part of this. Like, what do we do? We had to have like it's thing in motion that like, okay, we stop the show, we do this. And there was a genuine fear there. Yeah. Sorry, ranted about that now.
No, that was really fascinating to me because that was about a year ago and I was undergoing my own Reg issues. So that's why I wasn't at that show. Yeah, we go viral at the same time, Bird. It's
Okay.
beautiful. But 10 years ago, I would have been attacked online and I would have known who it was and I would have dealt with it the whole wrong way. So I would have went and I would have attacked back and I would have been like, how dare he? Because I didn't believe in myself and I didn't really know who I was or what I wanted and didn't understand why these things were kind of set me off. Whereas now when it's happening, I'm like, delete block. And then mostly I just feel really, really sad that there's someone at home that angry with me, that angry about themselves, that determined to try and hurt me, that driven, who isn't using that beautiful energy to do something creative and pure. Like, imagine what they could do with life if they just harnessed that properly. Like,
I know. And I'm sorry, because it's not nice. And it depends where you are. I think it depends kind of on how they do it and whatnot, isn't it? And how, like,
there are people actually killing themselves because they're being bullied online. Like, there are people dying. If that doesn't tell people out there that it's not cool to attack anyone online, I don't know what will. Because realistically, if to you it's not completely mental to be a keyboard warrior attacking someone because you don't like what they're doing, then there's something wrong with you. There's not something wrong with that person. If that person is just going off living their dream, if like they're really harming nobody, but you're trying to harm them because you're not happy, there's something wrong with you. And the fact that that could actually kill someone is worrying. Like,
it's terrifying, to be honest, because like you don't know what your comment could be, what breaks that elastic band, you know. everyone, I always say to people, it's kind of like, it's like a brick wall, and the wall, that's, no one's got a fully built brick wall. Everyone has a few cracks, and a few bricks may be gone. That's life. And then there's some people that the wall's only half built. Some people it's only like a quarter built, because depending what's going on in their current situations and whatnot. And then you go and do something and say something, and they've got less bricks to deal with than someone who's got support and community and family and friends around them and whatnot, you know. And just to actually just to point out as well, with the Holy Show last year, I actually don't feel bad or blame the people for making the petition or for any of it. To be honest with you, they've every right. And this is the thing, like I was saying, people were like shocked when I said it to them. I was like, I'm actually cool with it, because at the end of the day, I am taking the piss in their minds out of something that they truly love and believe. So I was like, you know, each their own. And our intention with that show was actually never to take the piss out of the Catholic Church. It was actually an inclusive cabaret mass. So our characters in the show love Jesus and God. This is the thing. Like, we are a proper nun and priest, but we got kicked out of the church because I got caught doing sexual acts, basically, and I just wanted to be sexually free, because people are humans. And Father Enda, well, sure, he wants to be Madonna on the altar and wanted to do Vogue, and sure, you know, you can't be doing that as a priest and whatnot. So ours is an inclusive mass for everyone, regardless of your sexuality or your genders and all this. And that was the kind of theme behind our mass. And then we were just having a bit of crack with it. That's all it was. But it obviously got picked up by the people because they haven't seen our show, so they just see what they think is a piss take on the religion. So like, I never intended to actually upset people, because I know some amazing people who are like strongly religious and I love them, you know what I mean? So it's just about respecting each other's differences. But I think there was a better way for them to go about it. I don't know why they wanted to pick at our show. And obviously then there's a few people that would go that bit extra, and that's when it was not the nice emails and stuff. But the people that had their heart in it genuinely just signed the petition because they just genuinely felt upset, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? I felt very like, I get it, but I'm going to do it, but I get it. You know, it was one of those situations. So
that's the thing about freedom of expression, you know, it applies to everybody. Like, it applies to everybody. It applies to you on what you're doing, and it applies to them for believing it. And we all have to respect that other people are on different journeys. It doesn't really matter what your journey is. It's not going to correspond to everyone. It just isn't.
Yeah. I was like, if you don't like it, just don't come to the show. You know what I mean? It's cool. You know, and I get why you wouldn't want to. Like, I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who didn't want to come to my show because they would be religious, but respected that I was doing the show. You know, so it was fine. And I knew not to like even bring up a lot of the funny conversations around them out of respect for their beliefs either, because of what was going on. So it was just like this very unsaid but said difference, and it was cool, you know.
There was understanding there. It was like, this is how you see the world, this is how I see the world. We don't have to agree, but we have to be respectful of each other. And I think a lot of people, we all stand to learn a lot from just respecting other people's whatever.
Yeah, just focus on your own shit and let other people do what they want. If it's not hurting anyone, it's cool. You know, I support you. You go live that Jesus life.
Hey, I'm happy with whatever makes people better people. So if it's Jesus, if it's the universe, if it's whatever, whatever makes you not be a cunt is good by me.
Exactly. And that's why I also am a believer in like in all religions. So besides the whatever shit that comes with it, if you want to praise a certain thing and it makes you a better person, like, I will 100% support you. You know what I mean? But I do genuinely feel like, you know, we're all energy. We're actually all when you're praising for good things, we're actually all praising to the same energy, but people see it differently, you know? Different.
But we all perceive everything differently. Like, I mean, there's no guarantee that the way I see green is the same way you see green. So like, the very thing about being a human being and being different, I don't know. I think it's teal.
It's red. Respect it. It's red.
I really like your red hat, Sinead.
Thank you. I love your blue hair.
Thank you. So obviously we both love laughter. Talk to me about the importance of laughter in your life, because we obviously are just big giant messers, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, organized messes. Yeah, I mean, laughter's good, isn't it? It's just like, do you know, if do you ever try to just fake laugh? I remember me and my friend used to always do this, like force yourself to fake laugh, right? Nothing's said, nothing's happened, and you just do it. And in the end, it'll make you laugh for real because it just triggers this laugh because you're making such a shit show of trying to fake laugh. So if you're ever with a few friends, get everyone to just start fake laughing, and it'll actually turn into a bit of a frenzy. It's great. It's good. I mean, it's scientifically proven, isn't it, that like it does things to your body, you know, and yeah, laughter is good. I mean, you're a comedian. It's your job, you know. You're basically a doctor. You're giving it out. You know what I mean? Doling
Yeah.
out them rules.
I've this plan for a show I want to do one day called Laughter is Contagious.
I like it. Can I be
Yeah.
the poster girl?
Yes. Like, who else would I use? Myself? I don't think so. I love it. I love it.
It's happening. Screenshot that now. Screenshot that and get that done into a bit of artwork.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Lovely.
I'm capturing you in my mind.
Even warm your leggings with the good crotch for you now. None of the old ones that are worn away.
No, I get it.
Pennies ones.
Obviously, your Millie Design leggings and Millie Design everything is just absolutely perfect. We should probably mention her. She made all my breastfeeding clothes.
Yes.
She made most of Keanu's clothes as he was growing up. This year is the first year I didn't actually order an outfit off her because I just couldn't, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, Millie Designs, which Katrin is the genius behind it, is a very good friend of mine. I met Katrin because she came to my class about, I suppose, 3 years ago, maybe. And now she's one of my very dear friends, and she's so talented, like so talented. She's amazing, and she's a super mom, superhuman. We have a collaboration under our sets together. Yeah, which is great. But I love her leggings. Like I have her leggings and stuff as well. They're so good. But yeah, she makes my thongs and the high-waisted booty briefs, and yeah.
When
Millie
I was
Design.
breastfeeding, so I met her in breastfeeding club, and at first I felt really uncomfortable because, you know, tops and stuff, and I like to dress a certain way, so I felt really uncomfortable, so I got her to make me a few tops. But then I remembered I don't really feel comfortable in tops most of the time. I like to wear dresses. So she made me these skater dresses that lift up and allowed me to breastfeed. And it was a game changer. I actually felt like myself again. Because when you have a kid, there's already a lot attached to no longer just being yourself. So having a dress felt really, really empowering. Like I could be a mom and a person again.
Yes. See? She transforms it. She's amazing. Like, and I love all her stuff because it literally is made with love, you know, and it's all handmade perfection. It's made to last, which is probably why you've got like Keanu stuff years, I'd say they're still in like tip-top condition.
Yeah, and they grow with them. Like it's smartly done. Like the borders allow the kids to stretch up, and you know what I mean. Like, and the prices are really, really reasonable as well, considering that it's all handmade and high quality. Like I couldn't fault the woman. Now we're after giving her a plug. We're not getting paid for this, but she is amazing. Millie Designs, definitely check it out.
Hashtag not an ad, not paid. Hashtag not gifted even. We just love Millie Designs. There we go.
And she's making all these reusable pads for your faces.
Yeah, and even for the kitchen as well, she gave me in a dish scrubber. Do I have it? I go get the prototype. No, we'll leave that area. I'll post it later. Oh, hi, Dad. My dad just walked in. I'm just having a chat interview. He's got, bless him. He has to live with me.
Yeah, it's just Keanu living with me, and the day's off is me by myself with my cat and my dog. They seem okay with me though. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't talk either though. Remember that. Yeah.
So you have Molly. She's lovely.
I do. I love Molly. I wonder if she'll come. See, my dad's come in now, so the attention. Molly. See, he gives her a treat every day when she comes in. In 5 minutes, I say she'll come along. I'll introduce her. It's actually great having a dog, isn't it?
It's the best. I have Hallie 10 years next month, and I have Braggy 5 months, maybe.
I adopted 5 months.
Yeah.
And they get along really well.
Well, at first they kind of sort of really super hated each other, but now they kind of sort of really love each other.
Oh, good. I love when cats and dogs get along. There she is. Molly, come here. Come here. Come here, say hello. Oh, she's too excited with her treat. Sorry. Yeah, so only 5 months, but I love when they get along because a lot of people's cats and dogs don't, but it's nice that you can have them in the house together, you know? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
they're
nice.
great. Because I wanted to get an adult cat because Keanu's too small for kittens. Like we tried it out. I kitten sat and he tried to
Yeah.
strangle them. Like he strangled them with love, but it was still strangulation.
Passionate. Yeah, yeah. A big cat will not let you do that. Like they will, like, no, no.
Braggy doesn't even like when Keanu shouts at me. Braggy will hiss if Keanu annoys me too much. He's kind of like a
Really?
guard dog. Yeah, he's awesome.
Gotta love a good guard dog. I know, so she's coming over. No. Molly's 12 this summer. Yeah, she's old. We should get Hallie and Molly together.
Yeah, we
Make
should
them,
actually. That would be
yeah.
great. We could all meet at the Arch
Can't wait for the arch to open again. Oh, do you
next
miss it?
Monday. Next Monday.
Oh, God. Is it? Like, when you say next month, I get really confused because some people say
So not
this
the
next.
Monday coming, so the 18th.
Oh my God, you're joking me. It's my birthday that week. I'm going to give myself an orange. Saying that, I'm really sad because I can't drink coffee anymore. They don't do decaf there, but I miss the social aspects of it all. The people. And just the chats that you have, you know, the random coffee shop chats where you just make random friendships out of just, I love it. It's the
I love
best.
the Arch. Like it's
Yeah.
really, really tough on me, especially. I'm basically their mascot. So like
I know. I'm actually very sad. Like I remember the day they shut, I went in on the last day and I was like, Anna was in there and I was like at the door at like a massive distance and I was just like, this is it. And I actually felt a little tug because it's more than a coffee shop. Like it's where I love to go if I'm feeling, I know you probably feeling yourself, but like if I have like a bit of a not feeling great day and I have work to do and I find it really hard to motivate myself, I'm a bit like, rather than being like, oh no, I must keep trying working, I get up, get Molly, walk to the arch, and it refreshes me and it makes me able to go back to my house better, and be able to just kind of be a bit more human, you know? Do you feel like that?
it's my creativity pit stop too. Like I literally go
Yeah,
there to get the energy, or a lot of the time I'll meet people and if I'm looking for an answer to something, it'll just happen. Like I'll just get
yeah.
the answer when I'm at the Arch, or I'll meet the right person to help me with a thing. It's really important. Like I spend a lot of time there. I know I do, but I'm always working on whatever project I'm doing, and sometimes I
That's,
just need to be out of the
yeah.
house.
But that's your little haven, and that's the thing when you're like self-employed and doing things like that. You need to kind of get out of your environment a bit to be able to like go back with a fresh mind, you know. So I'm gonna burn it. Excuse me. Sorry. I just, oh God, I was on a meeting the other day and I farted, and like it's a person I don't even really know too well, and like we were just having the chats and you forget that like you can hear, I don't know what I was thinking, and I was just casually chatting and it just went boom straight out of my arse, and I was like, oh, yeah, like, I couldn't blame it on anyone. I was like, oh.
That was
Sorry.
Molly.
Yeah, it was Molly. Oh God, she's gone. It wasn't. It was me. Oh, it's all the chocolate.
I've
All
been
the
loving the
dairy.
chats. There's kind of like 2 more questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
So one of the questions is, how do you balance out a persona taking over? So obviously we talked about that a little bit, but more in depth. Like, is it
Yeah.
hard sometimes to remember? Like with me, it is. Like I forget where the comedian starts and Rebecca ends. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like playing a constant game of chicken with myself. It's like,
Yeah.
this would be hilarious. How far can I push it? How far can I push people away? Because this is keeping me super safe. But it's in the long run, it's not going to do me any good. Like, and I know that.
Yeah. I don't know, because when I'm not like in my, say, costumes and stuff, I feel like I'm just myself. So like, you know, I'm always wearing like a beanie hat because I'm so lazy to do my hair. My hair actually has wig glue still like in that shit from last night. So I'm just going to, I'm actually only even wearing mascara now, because I can't get the eyelash glue off from last night either. I bought that brown one and it's like, it makes my eyes look weird. Anyway, sorry, that wasn't the question. So When I'm not in full costume, I'm definitely just myself, and I don't know, it just kind of, I don't really have to think about it. I think it's just kind of naturally happens, which I'm happy about. Like, I'm very like love nature. I actually like the quiet life a lot. I kind of have to have a lot of alone time. My energy, even from around people I love, my energy gets like zapped quite easily. So I would definitely not be. I don't feel like I'm always switched on with these characters, because I'm just kind of like get into my own chill zen space. But when I am with people, I do bring out some characters, I suppose, of, because they are part of me. You know, even just taking the piss, or I put on the granny accent, or I'll be Sister Sheila, or you know, I would put on. But I suppose that sassy, fucking hyper sexualized, arse in your face Bonnie is definitely not what I am right now, sitting here. But it is a part of me. It's not that I'm not being myself. Do you know that way? It just kind of time and a place. Different people bring out different sides of you, I think, and you kind of know what you could get away with jokes with certain people, and you know, depends on your environment and your people. But I think, I don't know if you you probably don't obviously have my sister on Snapchat, but she literally films me all the time secretly in the house, because I actually probably do a lot of stuff naturally in my everyday that I would do on stage, and she catches me all the time. Yeah, she has a proper compilation video. I'll send it to you of me. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question properly. I'm just shouting on. I'm sorry.
No, it does. It makes perfect sense. It
Does
does.
it make sense?
You're able to I can't say that word right now.
Compartmentalize.
Thank you. Thank you.
Compound.
Usually the words are fine. Right now I'm like, no, can't word today.
On you.
Yeah, no, I find it really hard. Like, I find it really hard. I have no filter. The more uncomfortable I feel, the more I'll be extra. Like, it's kind of like, okay, I feel uncomfortable now, so I'm just going to react, kind of like a tree frog leaving out its poison, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if I feel really uncomfortable, I don't even do it on purpose, but I will make other people feel uncomfortable, I guess, so I feel more comfortable or something.
Yeah. It's like you need to just envision the whole everyone else is naked scenario. I don't know if that ever works. Do you know what I mean? But
no, then I'd get too distracted, Sinead, and I just won't be able to concentrate, and it'd just be a mess.
You said distracted there. Well, you did say distracted. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm working on it. See, like, because I suffer a lot with anxiety myself, and like one of the ways I deal with that is by just being a little bit extra, so people don't actually need to get to know me. Like, they can think whatever they want and they leave me alone, you know. So I am working on that now that I'm working on myself and doing a lot of self growth and discovery. But it's true, no, I know I do it. Like, and then sometimes because I've been doing it for so long, and it's such a ingrained pattern of mine, and it's something that I just do, that I find it hard. I find it hard to put that filter back on and be like, okay. But a lot of people don't mind. Like, a lot of people who love me, like, just the way I am, you know.
That's what you want. The people that are around you are the people you want. People, you know, you want to be able to be yourself, whatever stage you are in your life, because the people should know your intention. You know, it's all about knowing the intention. So you shouldn't get too offended by a friend if they did something, if you know they've got good intentions, because we all just do and say things sometimes don't mean, you know. I feel like throughout the years I've gotten a lot quieter in myself, which is in a good way. I feel like I always, not that anyone was making me, but it's been like a transition of me being the clown for everyone, me being constantly switched on and switched on and being the person to like entertain people constantly, and then going through this journey of where I want to be, and then realizing that a lot of people start to expect me to always be the conversation starter, the entertainer, the organizer of things, you know, that sort of and then I started to pull back. And when I pulled back, a lot of people didn't like it. And then that made me question things. I was like, oh, you know, and I was like, you know, it should be a two-way street here. It should be like an exchange of everyone bringing something to the table, if that makes sense. And now, throughout the years, I've gotten quieter and happier about it, that like I'll be in a room and I don't have to be the one talking, or I don't have to be the one making people laugh, that I'm happy just to observe and be in good company. And a lot of new friendships have come through the past few years because I'm at a more grounded space myself. So it's been a journey of that sort of a thing going on, yeah, which is interesting. But then get me on stage and I'm a raging whore. Too far? I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. I was getting really excited about your wide on right there. I was like, oh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Good
so
wide
the last question before I let you go, or at least till I stop recording, because we'll probably still chat. And we've been having
Yeah.
pretty open discussion, which is cool, because it's actually rare enough I chat to someone I know as long as you, or who's actually my friend in real life, you know? So I think I let a few more things slip than I normally would from my own side, but that's okay.
Oh, shite, sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm okay with this. This is who I am.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's
I
do it.
inspire whoever, let people know I have no filter. What is the first thing you do when you get out of lockdown, except for being a crazy whore on stage?
Oh, fuck. Swim in the sea. Hump people with permission.
There was a girl got in there with that answer before you, Blackbird and Crow. Blackbird answered, riding.
Right. Writing or riding? Riding. No,
She's
do you know
from
what?
Donegal. It sounded awesome.
Riding. Oh, no, it's Dublin.
Yeah.
No, definitely swimming in the sea, Rebecca. Like I do it very often, and it's been very hard not having that, and just getting, even just being in the water, just having access to more nature. So first thing is to just venture out to nature and the ocean and hug people and go to the arch. See you there.
I will see you at the arch. I will see you, Molly, at the arch with Hallie, and we're going to hug the shit out of each other because I'm going to miss it.
Can't
Like,
wait.
I miss
I
hugging
know.
so much. Like
Hugging, yeah.
Hugging in the arch, like that's pretty much me. Like being this colorful thing that just has her headphones on and dances down the street for no apparent reason. That's kind of my jam. Like, and now I just feel like
My
I don't know. I don't know.
But you know what? Like hugging, I feel sorry for people that haven't got someone else in isolation with them to hug. You know, because I like often do nearly every day, but I often do the whole 20-second thing. Like I'll hug my sister and I'm like, no, not yet. And we stay hugging for ages and we don't let each other go, like very often. So, and I need it. It makes me feel, you know, so virtual hugs for everyone.
Yeah, no, I'm lucky I have the cat, the dog, and my son.
Yeah, you know, and pets as well are great for the hugs and for the love. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna hug my dog after this.
Yeah, and I change my profile picture pretty much every day on Facebook just for attention because I'm craving that as an extrovert. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
I like your honesty.
No, I know. I know what I am like.
Yeah, but I am what I am. Do you know what? Intro, extro, definitely did it both. Sometimes I'm like, same. Look at me, and I'm like, don't look at me, don't look at me. You know?
No, I'm actually the exact same, but I put on a good show. No one, you know, very few people, unless you know me very well, would realize that I need like my slug days where I don't talk to anyone or that I can't cope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. I love it. That's what I've loved about isolation as well. Like just having more time to literally just be, just be. You know, just lie in your bed and be like, I'm staying here. I'm not moving. Like a slug. It's great. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it after this interview. I'm going to get to bed after this interview. Yeah, great.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to be productive.
No, but like, that's the thing. I was burning out as well. I was being overly productive and I had to go, you can do this, sure, but you will burn out. Like, so just...
Like, when are you going to get this opportunity? I know this is a very privileged thing to say because it's not the same for everyone, and it depends on like your living situations and all that. But when are you going to get another chance as a working adult to have this amount of time to recuperate, recharge, really think about what you want, or just to think? A lot of people don't have time to just think, and things that come to the surface. It's a healing time. Some people are going to deal with a lot of bullshit that come up. You know, it's going to be hard. But it's nice just to have that time to just relax, sleep, eat. It's lovely. Not drive all the time, not travel, not be getting in at 3 a.m. from a gig. It's great. It's great. Yeah, I'm enjoying the silver linings of the situation. Big time.
Yeah, but we're that type of person. Like you and I have always been silver lining whores. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, look at it. It's so shiny.
SLWs. Silver lining holes. Coming to you. Okay,
Is there
bye.
anything you'd like to add to the interview before I leave you go?
I just want to say thank you to you and your blue hair for having me on. Really appreciate it. No, it's really great that you take time to do this, you know, because a lot of people see this and go, oh yeah, interviews, but you have to like self-motivate yourself, plan it, and that takes a lot. So go you, first of all.
Thank you.
And I suppose just want to tell everyone that just be you, enjoy yourself, enjoy your presence, live in the moment. And if you want to come dance with me, I do have my online classes. Yes, so if you want to, I do different ones every week. Next week it's twerking. We're going to do a lot of booty stuff. So yeah, if you want to contact me on Instagram or bonnieboo@gmail.com. And yeah, and you can also get classes if you have like a group of friends. You can book a private for you and a few friends to come on, and I tailor the class specifically or for work things. And yeah,
Or a hen night like what you did last week, which sounds
yeah, I did a
absolutely
hen.
perfect.
Yeah, there was like 20 women, and we did like a twerking class together, and they all had their drinks, and yeah, it's good fun. So don't be afraid to message me and ask any questions. No pressure to commit ever, and I
And
will answer
she's
when I
super
can.
inventive as well. So if you have an idea, she's very creative. She'll find a way to
Thank
make it
you.
work. She's
Yes,
super fun and she's definitely worth supporting in this time. If you've enjoyed me
thank you.
talking about things and my questioning, my name is Rebecca and I run these Creative Cabin Fever interviews on Viking Promotions. Please
Woo.
subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm really bad at the self plug. I'm really good at
Do
the
it. Go on,
plugging
I'm
of
encouraging
others.
it. Go on, plug it, plug it. Go on. Mm.
We're done. I think we're 37 interviews in now, you know, it's just all different characters. We've had like Roddy Clear, we've had Paul McDonnell, who's a fantastic sculptor. Like
Yeah.
literally it could be anyone I'm talking to. Like they're not all musicians or anything mad like that. Someone asked me last week, do you only interview metal bands? And I think I've only interviewed 3 metal people, full stop. Like,
Yeah, it's just because
so
they think that's what you're doing. They don't know. They've not watched all of them to know. Oh, my leg. Before I go, actually, because you love t-shirts.
yes,
Yeah, it's not a band t-shirt, but I know you'd
that's okay.
appreciate it.
Chucky! Tie-dye Chucky!
Woo!
He matches
Yeah,
my hair.
yeah. My absolute like terrifying moment as a child, Chucky. Yeah,
Mine was
when I watched
it.
it.
Do you know what? This is a good story,
Chucky.
actually. I was about 6 and I went into a movie shop, right? And they had popcorn
Mm-hmm.
popping in the corner. And you know that smell gets in your mouth and you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
love that smell.
Yes.
And it's
Like,
daytime and I look up at the screen and it's that scene in It where like the sink is bleeding. And
I've not seen it.
for about 10 years, I could not eat
Yeah.
popcorn because of the taste of blood in my mouth, because of the smell association with that moment in time.
Really? What happens when you wash your hair and the red runs in the sink and it looks like blood?
That's fine. I think it was just
You're
my
okay?
age. I was so young to be seeing that.
Yeah. I know it's terrifying. Like I've not actually seen it. Would you believe that? I haven't seen it all, but Chucky was definitely, and then the Bride of Chucky, and
She's hot. I
yeah,
would.
sure as well. Yeah, I would. We would. Chuck would.
Okay, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to stop recording and we'll keep messing.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to the rants and the bents. Tap.